Well, hi, everybody, and welcome. I think we've got most people in the room now, so we can get started. My name is Anne-Marie Mediwake, and I host CTV's Your Morning, and I'm thrilled to be back for another year. Thank you to ryze for having me back. I love this celebration of both entrepreneurs and volunteers. And this is my third location hosting from. The first time was in person altogether. Last time was at my home. And this time I am in my office at 299 Queen Street. And for those of you who might recall this from back in the day, my office is directly above Speaker's Corner, if you remember Speaker's Corner, Queen and John. And it's also right above where Electric Circus used to rock back in the day. So welcome again, everyone. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that I can join you again. ryze, as many of you know, is the only national charity that provides people with a history of mental health or addictions a path of sustained employment through low interest loans, training, mentorship, and other custom supports. It's also one of my favorite charities to be involved with because I find the stories and the people involved in them to be incredibly inspiring, really smart business people. I love the synergy between these two groups, and I also really love how incredibly well organized they are. So thank you to the ryze team as well. Most of us by now are very familiar with Zoom calls and how they go, but just in case, I have to do the mandatory housekeeping. Remember, please, to keep your mic on mute because I can hear your dog and your delivery man and whatever else, toilets flushing, whatever else might be going on, and we don't want to disrupt. I'd also like you to show your appreciation whenever possible by going into the chat, and you can do the applause or the clap, and you'll find those buttons on your screen. Remember, just a reminder, if your camera is on, we can all see you. So as good as your lunch might be, you might want to turn your camera off if you're going to enjoy that. And please be advised, you've probably seen at the top of your screen already, we are recording this event and we are going to post it to the ryze YouTube channel. So if you have a loved one who couldn't be here but would like to see it, you can tell them that's where to find it. Speaking of where to find things, we would love for anybody who is interested to go on social media. You can tag today's event at ryze helps, raise some awareness and show people the conversation we're having today. Soon, we are going to hear from the chair of the board and the CEO of ryze. Then the awards will be handed out, followed by my favorite part of the day, which is the moderated panel discussion, where you'll get to meet our award volunteers, find out a bit about their story and a bit about their businesses. If you have any questions along the way, please add them into the chat. Erin Burgess from ryze is going to be keeping track of them. And then after our panel discussion, if there's time, we will go to the Q&A. And there's always such great insights in the questions, so please feel free to use that function. It is now my great pleasure to introduce you to the new chair of the ryze Board of Directors, Lori Spadorcha. Lori is the Senior Vice President, Public Affairs and Partnerships and Chief Strategy Officer at CAMH. She has been a member of the board of ryze since 2018. And upon taking her chair seat in early September, she became the first woman to hold this role at ryze. So here's Lori.
Thanks, Anne-Marie, and thank you for those wonderful memories of Electric Circus and Speaker's Corner. I'm now feeling like a little dancing, so hopefully we'll get out of this pandemic soon enough. I just want to thank you as well for being here again. Your support means a lot to us, and we love to have you moderating for today. On behalf of the ryze Board of Directors, I'm thrilled to welcome all of you, our 12th annual award ceremony. I want to briefly thank you for welcoming me into the role of chair with such kindness and encouragement. It's been a poignant reminder that the strength of this community lies in its care, empathy, and inclusion, something we'll experience for sure today with the award recipients. But first, I'd like to recognize the many people who make ryze's work possible. To my fellow board members, I see several of you here today, our loan review committee and the ryze staff, thank you for working with such determination to support ryze's growth and ensure that our resources reach hundreds of worthy entrepreneurs across Canada. To our volunteer mentors and coaches, thank you for giving your time and experience to help guide our entrepreneurs towards success, however they define it. And to the entrepreneurs who place their trust in ryze, who take our support and turn it into tangible, meaningful impact. We would be nothing without you. Thank you for your spirit and resilience, and for the privilege of allowing ryze to be part of your lives. I want to make a special thank you to Sandy and Janice Rotman and the Rotman family. ryze was founded 11 years ago, in their vision for the potential of entrepreneurship in the lives of people with mental health and addiction challenges. And their unwavering support continues to drive our impact. Thank you, Sandy and Janice, for your vision, for your support, and for your hearts. We would not be here without you. Despite the difficulty of recent times, I'm proud to say that ryze is emerging stronger and with a more robust and determined plan for the future than ever. It is an exciting time in our growth, and it is my pleasure to work in collaboration with another Laurie S., who spells Laurie the proper way as well, and that is our CEO, Laurie Smith. It's my honor to pass her the screen now. Over to you, Laurie.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure, we might never get tired of that Laurie S joke. Everyone will be really tired of it first before us. And yes, thank you, Anne-Marie, for that trip down memory lane, the Speaker's Corner one in particular. I might have sat in that chair once or twice myself. Good morning, everyone. It's absolutely wonderful to see so many people here to celebrate our fantastic clients and award recipients. Thank you very much for joining us. I'd like to start by thanking our sponsors, our presenting sponsor, Power Corporation, our award sponsors, Bell Let's Talk and Scotiabank, and our supporting sponsor, Citibank, because without you, this event would actually not be possible. And possible or not, it certainly wouldn't be the same without our masterful MC, Anne-Marie Mediwake. Anne-Marie seems to feel like she's choosing us, which is lovely, but we choose her year after year because of the unparalleled warmth and professionalism that you bring. Thank you very much for being here again. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you, all of our guests, our partners, staff, volunteers, clients, and donors. We're truly a community, and I have never felt that more strongly than now. As Anne-Marie said, ryze continues to be Canada's only national charity that's dedicated to helping people with mental health and addiction challenges achieve greater social and financial inclusion through entrepreneurship. And our mission has proven especially important in a rapidly changing economy. We know how important small businesses are to Canada's social and economic success. And we know that ryze and our clients have a very powerful role to play in helping to build them. That's why we set goals for the next 3 years to double the number of clients participating in ryze programs, launch new programs aimed at empowering people who have been most impacted by the pandemic. And we also aim in the next few years to become operational in all of Canada's 5 major geographic regions. That last goal is something that we're well on our way to achieving, and it's thanks to our business model of collaborative partnerships. I'm really pleased that this year, with financial support from Bell Let's Talk, we joined forces with the Canadian Mental Health Association to launch ryze Winnipeg. With CMHA already established in Manitoba, working together means that we can really efficiently integrate ryze's proven programs into their existing infrastructure. We owe so much of our success as an organization to strong partnerships. And I'd now like to welcome Karen Seuss, Director of Community Investment, to announce a really, really exciting new collaboration between ryze and Scotiabank.
Thank you, Laurie. Can you hear me okay and see me? Excellent. Thank you so much. My name is Karen Seuss, and I'm the Director of Scotia ryze at Scotiabank. It's a real honor to be here at the Rotman Family Entrepreneurship Awards and to celebrate this community network that enables such amazing entrepreneurial success stories. And with Scotiabank being a new partner to ryze Asset Development, I just wanted to say that I've enjoyed reading the monthly newsletter that is full to the brim on the latest business ventures that are being funded, and I'm inspired by the passion and unique ideas. I'm incidentally completely blown away by the holiday marketplace. I was on the site this morning and can see the number of entrepreneurs being profiled, and I know I'm going to find some amazing gifts from my families and friends. I'm excited to attend today's event and to celebrate Scotiabank's community partnership with ryze. Our investment towards strengthening client success programs will provide better support to more than 2,200 Canadian entrepreneurs in the ryze community to launch and grow their business, leading to greater personal, professional, and economic stability. And critical to the empowerment is a strong volunteer core. to serve as mentors and coaches. And I'm excited to say that Scotiabank has invested $500,000 over the next 3 years to strengthen the volunteer client relationships, achieving greater diversity of the volunteer network, implementing mental health training, and also expand volunteer opportunities, enabling our clients to tap into a variety of experts that small businesses need to thrive. Scotiabank is committed to supporting ryze's work to enhance their volunteer program and capacity and support their clients through specialized training supports. We really hope that this gift will enable ryze to contribute to the rebuilding of the Canadian economy and promote mental health resiliency, both of which have been deeply affected by this pandemic. Thank you so much. And Lori, I look forward to our partnership with the rest of your organization and the community, and we look forward to the many years ahead.
Karen, thank you so much. That's a huge gift, and I know that it will be, I mean, for 3 years is amazing, and I am excited to meet and to see the work that money is going to do. So thank you so much. I'm glad you mentioned the holiday marketplace, by the way, because that is an excellent idea. We are almost exactly a month until Christmas. And so the marketplace is a really great place for you to go and support not only this organization, but really just to take care of your Christmas wish list. Because it's going to be challenging this year. So you might as well support. Also, I wanted to mention off the top as well, we have people here from 7 provinces, which is one of the great things about being able to do this over Zoom and to do this call, is that we get people to log in and to celebrate our award winners from right across the country. So that's been really great. Before we announce those winners, by the way, of the Rotman Family Entrepreneurship Awards, I want to tell you about a special grant award. This is to a ryze client named Alex Canaran McFabe. Alex is an entrepreneur of film and stage, and among other talents, he is an actor, director, a playwright, and he was recently awarded a $1,000 grant, care of the Rotman family, to honor the life and memory of Canadian philanthropist and patron of the arts, Mr. Alan Slate. So congratulations, Alex, to you and to the Rotman family for your generosity and ongoing commitment to our entrepreneurs. Okay, enough waiting. Let's get to the reason why we're all here today. This is very exciting. And if anybody is new, I'll just give you a quick explainer of who these awards have gone to. The Rotman Family Entrepreneurship Awards are given out every year, and they celebrate the outstanding entrepreneurial achievements of individuals whom ryze has supported through its lending programs and training programs. Every client award recipient receives an $1,000 prize. And just before we present the awards, I'd like to take a moment to applaud our honorable mentions, and those will be coming up on the screen for you to take a look at. I'm told by the selection committee that this was very difficult to choose our winners this year and our runners-up because of the number of outstanding applications that they received. And that's a really good thing. It means that ryze clients and volunteers are thriving, and that more and more they want to share their stories with us, and we love hearing them. So please join me in congratulating the 7 entrepreneurs and the 3 volunteers who are being recognized as honorable mentions for their exceptional achievements this year. Have a moment to take a look at the slide. Definitely worth it. Congratulations to all of you. All right, on to the awards now. And if you think about it, use your little chat to celebrate. Your little icons would be great. Our first award belongs to the volunteer who has gone above and beyond for ryze clients and the organization. Their tireless dedication to ryze mission and their contributions to individual client success is the definition of exemplary service. Meryl Cook fits that description. The owner of Meryl Cook Engagement by Design, she began volunteering with ryze in 2020. She's an artist, an author, a speaker, a facilitator, and she brings an innovative, inclusive, and diverse brand of leadership, creativity, and team building expertise to her new role as a ryze mentor. Just over this past year, she has provided her mentee, Colleen Moffat, owner of 3C's Custom Leatherworks, with invaluable insight and support. Please join me in congratulating the 2021 Scotiabank Volunteer of the Year, Meryl Cook. Congratulations, Meryl. And Meryl, in case you're looking, if people are scanning through trying to figure out what she is, just stop on this page that you see with a lot of color, because that is Meryl right there. Thank you so much, Meryl. All right, our next award goes to a first-time entrepreneur dipping their toes into small business ownership. They have done their research and diligently planned their launch. They have already had some initial success, and they have a clear sightline of where their future lies. Karen Clark is one such entrepreneur, and it was while on a mental health leave from her job in the labor sector that Karen then identified a gap in employment services that needed filling. And you'll find out more about this story a little bit later. It's a good one. In August of 2020, A Spectrum was born to provide strength-based, trauma-informed job and career coaching for neurodiverse individuals who face barriers in employment. And we know that this is an issue. In little more than a year, Karen has secured a national partner and is changing the inclusive labor market for both employers and employees. It's a huge step forward. Please join me in congratulating the 2021 Bell Let's Talk Startup Award recipient, Karen Clark. I see Karen there. She's waving. Keep waving so we can find you if we're scanning, Karen. Congratulations.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll find out more of your story in just a little bit. All right. Our next honor is awarded to an entrepreneur that has overcome significant personal and/or business pitfalls and challenges to get to where they are today. They have grit and perseverance, and they do not take no for an answer, an expression Rebecca Thibault uses to describe herself. After being refused traditional bank loans, Rebecca found ryze and secured the financing and support to launch her consignment shop, B&K Boutique in Leduc, Alberta. Shout out to Leduc. Alberta is my home province. But almost as soon as those doors opened, a dispute with her then business partner meant Rebecca had to either quit or take the business over solo and then really dig in. I can see Rebecca nodding. She bet on herself, and today not only runs a successful business, but is also franchising to empower other entrepreneurs. Please join me in congratulating this year's Par Garfinkel Resilience Award recipient, Rebecca Thibault. Give a wave, Rebecca, so everybody knows where you are. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved. All right, our final award goes to the entrepreneur who best exhibits success and growth in their personal and their professional lives. And when it comes to business planning, they have made smart and sound decisions. Their story is one to be applauded and can be held up as an example to follow. You might already know our recipient, Brittany X Miranda Manchu-Ochicheri. You may have seen her on TikTok or heard her in one of your Spotify playlists. A hip hop artist who stars on the Ryze, Brittany, known by her stage name, X Miranda, joined the Ryze Youth Small Business Program to help turn her dreams for a career into music into a solid business plan. She's a true triple threat. She's a talented musician, a driven artist, and a diligent entrepreneur. That's the real key. This year's Rotman Family Entrepreneur of the Year Award is awarded to Brittany X Miranda Manchu-Ochicheri. Congratulations. And can I see, is Brittany there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much.
Wait, I got to scan through like so many photos, Brittany, hang on. I'm on my phone. There's only 4 coming up at a time. Okay, good. Congratulations. We're going to hear your story in just a little bit.
Thank you so much.
If I can get our award recipients to join me now for our panel. So I'll get you to unmute. This is where everybody gets to know you, gets to know your business, why you were winning the award, and to demonstrate your resilience, your strength, and your determination. I have everybody there. I have some questions here just for everybody else who's joining us, and we'll alternate between each panelist. And if you have a question and you're watching today, please feel free to send that in to Aaron or on the chat, and we'll try to keep some time at the end to ask them. But Brittany, I'm going to start with you. Hello.
Hi, so happy to be here.
I am so happy to meet you from my office.
Great meeting you too.
And just so you know, I said electric circus, but actually my office is directly over the old Much Music studio. So a lot of good music energy vibes coming through from there. Brittany, first of all, I want you to brag a little bit because you've earned it. And I understand that you've reached some exciting career milestones this year. So please share those with everybody.
Yeah, definitely. This year has been like such an exciting year for me as like an artist, you know, and as an entrepreneur as well. So some of the highlights for me this year have been actually having my music be in the TV series Gossip Girl, where they actually selected my song for the premiere episode. So that was like so exciting for me, being able to see my music, you know, showcased on like a show that like everybody loves and is so exciting to be a part of. And in addition to that, I also got to do a TikTok campaign with Ludacris, the rapper, and I have like a couple of campaigns going on too currently with like brands like Spotify and M&M's and so many other great like opportunities. And another really huge milestone for me was my total streams actually surpassed 2 million streams in total. And there's so many things. So like this year has been like fantastic for me, where it's just been beyond my expectations. And it's really shown me as an entrepreneur that I just need to not give up and things will fall into place.
I love that you brought me to Entrepreneur, and congratulations on all of your success. By the way, I watched that episode of Gossip Girl. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it because I know that it's your
Great.
song and I've met you. My kids will be so impressed. I want you to take us back and tell us about the importance, being an artist may not be what typically people think of when they think of an entrepreneur, but really artists are entrepreneurs, right? They're a self-run business. And so can you tell us the importance of turning your music into a business?
Yeah, no, that is so important. Like as artists, if you don't actually look at yourself as a business, what ends up happening is you lose a lot of, the monetary, like financial side of being able to live off your art. A lot of times artists, we typically are so passionate about what we do, and that can lead us maybe just focusing on, the creative side, which can end up leading us in a situation where we're kind of like filling that trope of being like a struggling artist, always kind of like having to have our art be our side hustle. So if you actually do your due diligence to invest the time in learning, studying, investing, that passion into the business side as well, it can make it where you can actually live off your art. And that's something that I've really learned about the business side and taking that serious.
Yeah. And, we only have to look at the really powerful female artists today to know like that is the case, right? Look at Adele, look at Taylor Swift, look at Nicki Minaj, right? That is a business for women who are also really talented artists. Great to meet you, Brittany. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Karen, your turn.
Wow, that's a tough act to
Hi,
follow,
Karen.
Brittany. I'm a little starstruck following Brittany.
Right. All right, I want to talk to you about your company, A Spectrum. Karen, you were on a mental health leave. This is a fascinating story when you were inspired to start your business. And this happens a lot to people, right? They either choose to take or are forced to take a bit of a break, and it allows them to do an assessment about what's important, where do I want to go? What motivated you, and what are you most proud of on your entrepreneurial journey?
Thank you. Well, first, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the organizers of this event, Bell Let's Talk, Scotia and City Banks, and of course the Rotman family and ryze for allowing this to happen and occur, because I just feel really supported and vindicated by the community that's kind of arisen from this whole process. And yeah, I was off on a leave for mental health. I received 2 fairly substantial diagnoses from my physicians, and had to kind of take a step back and realize that what I was doing sort of as a frontline worker and working in the employment sector was sort of just burning me out. But what it gave me a chance to do was kind of look at some of the gaps that I'd experienced working in the sector. And so I was able to take that time, and I really look at it now as one of the best things that have ever happened to me, because it allowed me to take the time to reflect on what I felt I needed to do, what I felt my calling was, and how I felt I could really make a significant impact and do things sort of on my own terms. And one of the benefits or silver linings that come from getting a diagnosis and kind of addressing your mental health is that it gives you sort of a reason that explains sort of what you're going through. So it allows you to be a little softer with yourself. I would be crazy if I worked in mental health and then wasn't able to kind of extend the same support to myself that I would with people that I worked with. So it allowed me to sort of be kinder to myself, give myself opportunity to be creative, and really see where that would lead me. And that led me to creating A Spectrum in 2020.
All right, let's talk about A Spectrum, because it's a family affair. You work with your kids. So
Yes.
what was it like? I mean, that can be stressful in and of itself. Anybody knows who does a family run business, but what is it like to have them be part of the process of building a business?
It's been really interesting. So I guess we were kind of off during the pandemic, all of us. And, there's only so much Netflix and Uber Eats one can do before you realize, like, maybe we should be using this time a little bit more constructively. My son had recently graduated from U of T with his degree in psychology. So he was about to enter the labor market force. I was on leave from the labor market force, having worked for 15 years. And my son also identifies as neurodiverse. So we kind of started saying, what can we do with our sort of lived experience to create something new? It's been a fun experience for the most part. It's been amazing. And it's allowed me to see my kids in a different light. It kind of gives a different filter on our relationship aside from mother and child. I really get to see their creative side. They sort of see me in a different light as an entrepreneur. And we've had some really emotional conversations about the impact of, you know, how proud they are of me and how proud I am of them in their resilience and their perseverance, and them of me. So it's been a really kind of amazing thing. And one of the great things about working with your kids is if they challenge something, you can just say, because I said so, do it because I said so. That just trumps everything. So
just picking up on that point that you made about what they're proud of. What have they told you that they're proud of?
I think that one of the things that inspires them is sort of destigmatizing mental health. So realizing that seeing me go through sort of my journey of the pendulum of mental health and wellness and illness and wellness, and sort of being able to sort of continue, even though it looks different, being able to move through that, right? So being able to see that there is still the ability to create, there is still the ability to connect, you know, and finding reason to give yourself an excuse to get out of bed every day makes a big difference, right? So I think they've seen that, they've seen me work through that. And we have very open conversations about mental health and sort of being very aware of one another's sort of triggers and what one another are going through. So I think it's really allowed us to get to know one another in that way much more personally than some families might have the opportunity to. So yeah, they've been proud of me for all of those things.
Oh,
and
I love that.
I'm super proud of them. Yeah.
I bet. I really love, like, entrepreneurs are always looking for, like, where's that gap in the market? Where's the space? But I love that you used your own journey and your own experiences to say, we can bridge this. We can do better. They don't have to run apart from each other. We can have people who are neurodiverse and also be part of the quote unquote regular workforce and have them be successful and thrive and be entrepreneurs like yourself, or to work with full employment. It's fantastic. Karen, thank you. Great to meet you.
And one thing I just wanted to just add to that, Anne-Marie, before you jump, is that we make a real concerted effort to hire folks that also identify as neurodivergent. So we have a team really of like-minded folks with lived experience similar to our own, which I'm really proud of as well.
Oh, I love that. So informative. Rebecca, I want to bring you into this conversation now. Your consignment shop is B&K Boutique. It is online, but you've also had to manage pandemic restrictions with a brick and mortar store. So you're dealing on two fronts. Can you tell everyone about your entrepreneurial journey and how you've adapted and involved your business to thrive during all the lockdowns? And we know they were different across the country. So explain to us how that worked for you.
So I started the store 2019, I think July 1st, and didn't anticipate for the next year to all of a sudden, go shut down. And I kind of said at that point, a lot of businesses I saw a lot of businesses shut down. So there was that fear of, hey, this could possibly be us too. What do we do? And listening to a podcast, an entrepreneur had mentioned that if you're not prepared for some sort of pandemic as a business owner, then maybe you need to rethink your business strategy and your business plan and go back to the beginning. And so that really triggered us with, okay, we have restrictions. How many people are allowed in the store? How do we get through this? And private shopping experiences came through, which, I'm all about making people feel good about themselves too, right? So it gave an opportunity to give we kind of started this VIP experience at the store. So after hours, you could come in and we followed restrictions, but it was just you in the store, and you got this, kind of like a Gucci experience or Louis Vuitton when you walk in with the champagne sort of feeling, right? It was all about you. So yeah, and it carried us through.
Oh, I love that. For people who don't know or who are just joining us, tell us a little bit more about your business, what it is.
So consignment is where you bring your items in, but you get a profit. So instead of putting them on marketplace and you having to deal with everybody, we take them in and you get a percentage. And through that, when we first started too, we kind of created a system that's like a fishbowl experience. So our consigners were actually able to see what they were selling. So then they can also be semi-business on their own, right? Hey, this is what's moving. This is what's not moving. I can bring that in. And resellers have really exploded too. So it's been an amazing experience. And we offer 50-50. So there's not a lot out there and no hidden fees. Like, it's straight across the board. So I think that honesty was something that needed to change in the whole consignment world.
Oh, I love that. I love how you adapted. You're also committed to paying it forward. So tell everybody about your franchising ambitions.
Yeah, so it was actually a consigner that kind of marked it off. Is she came in, she goes, I love what you've done. I love everything from beginning to end. I want to open one up. And that just got the ball rolling on. I have this business plan that I've created, and I've kind of already done the hard work. So to see other people want to be successful in the entrepreneurial life, I was like, I'm all about this. So we've created a franchise that is less savage than a lot of other franchises, because I do want people to be successful in this. This is something I'm very passionate about. So by able to paying that forward, and then now we've started the whole donation program. So a lot of our consignors already donate. Now we donate to some really good causes. A deer, it's called More Than a Fad. It's a thrift store. So the items go there, and then their profits go to Adira, which is for addiction. So it's just some really just keep rolling, right? Just keep paying it forward all over. So I'm pretty excited about all of that.
Both of my parents are entrepreneurs, and I am less minded that way. So I'm always impressed and amazed by how fast entrepreneurs are able to react. And it sounds like you were exactly that, Rebecca. You just saw the need, you thought about it, you acted on it, and away you went. That's very exciting. I want to bring Meryl in now. Meryl, first of all, we were commenting earlier how beautiful and how colorful your background is. And congratulations for receiving the Volunteer of the Year award. Tell us why you volunteer with ryze and a bit about your experience as a mentor.
Sure, thanks. So first of all, I really want to say thank you to ryze for the award. It was such a surprise and an honor. And also thanks to Colleen Moffat, who was the mentee who nominated me. And I really appreciated working with you. And it's been such a wonderful year. So I guess I was approached by Nicole Osmond, who I think is here today. And she's someone that I knew through other business networking. And she said, I have a client who is an artisan, and I think you and she would really connect. And perhaps you'd like to consider being her mentor. So as an artist, it really appealed to me to work with another artisan who was starting her business. And I've had many mentors over my 25 plus years in business, and I wanted to give back to the small business community. But I was especially interested in working with someone from the client base of ryze, because I feel that entrepreneurship gives a really decent chance for people to break out of subsistence living or dealing with issues that maybe don't fit in a 9-to-5. It gives you flexibility. It gives you lots of things. So I was really, really interested in working with ryze because of the client base. And so Colleen and I have been working together for just over a year now, and we meet monthly, and then she texts or emails me if any issues arise in between.
Anyone who's been a mentor knows that it's not even just about, sharing your knowledge or experience, but you also learn a lot when you're a mentor. So tell me what you've learned from your mentee.
Absolutely. I think that I'm really grateful to have been given the opportunity to work with my mentee, because not only have I helped her grow her business, but I've grown also. It's reminded me of the importance of getting back to basics with my business, and also setting appropriate boundaries for my business. And I'm also surprised to discover how much I actually know about being in business. You kind of take it for granted when you've been in business for 25 years. And so it actually made me feel proud of what I've learned as an entrepreneur.
I love that portion of it as what you've learned. And I love that realization of, hey, I actually know a lot that I can actually share.
Yeah, absolutely.
My next question is both for Rebecca and Karen, and I'll let Rebecca start. You both speak very openly about your own mental health challenges, and I think a lot of people would benefit from hearing your stories. Can you describe how, as entrepreneurs, that you integrate your mental health and your mental health journey into your daily business? And if you can, offer some strategies on how you cope with the demands and the extra stresses, which are not always a friend to anyone struggling with mental health challenges. How you cope with that? What are your strategies? Rebecca, I can start with you.
So I was diagnosed, I think in the beginning, I think I was like 60 when I was actually diagnosed, but I've had it since I was little. I'm dyslexic, Erlin syndrome, and ADHD. So a lot of combined in the brain. So when people first meet me, they think, I don't have, like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? There's that response to how like you must be all, and I'm not. There's a lot of things happening upstairs in my brain, but being in a place where I thought that I was stupid and I was never able to achieve anything. And this is where it gets, I'm so grateful for ryze, is that for the first time in a long time, I actually felt like somebody believed in me and that I was able to take my business to be something versus, just a dream. And I am very grateful for Catherine and for Dave in the ryze here in Edmonton. They've been absolutely incredible, uplifting. And Dave, I will say he saw points too. He knew, like, this is how Becky's brain works. So to be able to go through business and then have that on top of it, it's, we can get burnt out, especially when you're go, and your brain doesn't want to stop and you want to keep evolving and you want to keep doing stuff. And that burnout thing, I mean, if it wasn't for it to be brought up, and then the amount of respect that I have for those that work with ryze and them to be able to see it, I probably would have burnt out within 3 months. So I'm very grateful for that, and that I can now then, go back and balance my business and my family, and then obviously myself. Like, I have to take that mental health for me, just because things do get a little, it's like fireworks sometimes up in there. So yeah, I am very grateful for ryze and everything you guys have done. So
what about personal strategies for you, Rebecca?
Personal strategies is, honestly, I now am kind of push forward into kind of how creative my brain can be sometimes. And I allow that just to be more open instead of like constricting it, or, I'm less embarrassed, I guess, too, and ashamed of it. So there's been a lot of opportunities for me to speak to other families that have kids that are going through this. So it's been something that's actually, it's opened up a bigger, a world for me. So yeah.
I love that. I love hearing that, how ryze has helped take something that you might have felt embarrassed about and recognize it as a strength that you talk proudly about and use to fuel your business, your creativity, and your ideas, and helping other people with all the other work that you're doing. Thank you, Rebecca, for sharing.
Thanks.
I love that you're getting to live your dream, that it wasn't just a dream for you. Karen, I want to bring you in. How do you balance your mental health with business ownership?
First, I just need to loop back and just give Rebecca a virtual hug, because I know how hard it is to be vulnerable. And I really respect that you did that. And that gives me the courage to do that now. So thank you for that. So for me, I cry a lot. That's one of the things I do to help my mental health. I let it out. And that actually is a fact. Like, I do give myself, as I mentioned earlier, the permission to just, if I'm tired, I let my body rest. If I'm feeling frustrated, I talk about it. I really prioritize my self-care. One of the things that I find this whole experience has done is given me a voice again. I felt previously like in my professional life, my voice had been silenced, especially as a woman of color, and a woman living with mental health. I had diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder. And so those present in different ways that sometimes I felt wasn't commonly understood. And so I felt like the whole process through ryze helped destigmatize some of that for me, much like Rebecca was alluding to. It gives you the courage to sort of embrace your mental health as part of you. It does bring forth some strengths in you didn't realize you had, but it also doesn't define you. And that there can be movement through and creation through adversity, which is one of the things that this has taught me. And it really, this is one of the points that I always really want to drive home, is that whenever anybody is going through something like this, that you can still create. It might not look like you want it. You might not put in an 8-hour day. It might be, 20 minutes jotting down some ideas at the beginning, but there can still be movement and momentum and creation through all of this. So those are some of the strategies that I've used to kind of cope with balancing everything.
I love that both of you have found through entrepreneurship, and Karen, your business that helps to make this link or this bridge for people, is that when you're living with mental illness, it may not fit into a typical or a legacy structure of employment, but it's actually a really great setup for being an entrepreneur, because you've got the freedom to be able, as you said, if I need to take a break, I take a break, but I can also use those things and then tap into ryze to help my business to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Thank you both for being vulnerable and for sharing, especially because we're doing this in the format that we're doing it. We're not in a, you know, a close, intimate setting. So I just want you to know your stories are safe here, and thank you for sharing them.
Thanks.
Meryl, I want to bring in you onto this conversation. How does mental health factor into your role as a mentor?
Yes, thank you. It's as a homeopath, I was a homeopath for 20 years before a breast cancer diagnosis, and I experienced burnout in my profession. And then I received 2 wake-up calls. The first was I crashed my son's motorcycle, and the second was the breast cancer. And so I made a decision not to return to my practice, which I loved, but decided that I really wanted to take the time and the space that I needed to fully heal. So I started writing in a journal, and I developed a whole new process of design of my hand hook drugs. I'd been hooking for a number of years prior to this, but this was a whole new way of working. And that led to my current business, which is based on color, texture, joy, and self-compassion. Those are kind of my taglines for the work that I do. What I do is I help individuals and corporate clients get unblocked and to reconnect and regain their sense of purpose or vision. And I do that at a corporate and an individual level. And at the core of my personal practice, and also at the work that I do, is self-compassion. I mean, really, that's kind of my foundation.
I love that color and texture represent joy for you, because we see all of that in behind you. I see all the color. And I was asking you this earlier, but if anybody's wondering what that sign says, it says louder,
taller, and exuberant. It's a rug called Breaking Open, and it's around, or called The Door is Open. So it's the door is open to becoming the person that I fully am. So you can see the little crack here where things are coming out. Yeah. So thank you.
Beautiful. Meryl, thank you so much. Brittany, I'm going to bring you back into this conversation. Looking for some advice here. Speaking of beautiful, colorful backgrounds, Brittany, that artwork in behind you is stunning. It's amazing.
Thank you.
What is some advice that you would give to small business owners who are in the startup phase, especially those who might not see themselves as a traditional entrepreneur?
Definitely. So I would say one thing that's really something I've come to the realization of is understanding that you can decide your path. You can choose whatever path you decide to take. You don't have to do things in a linear way. It doesn't have to, you know, fall into place in a specific, you know, like way of like progressing into different things. And in other words, you can be multifaceted. So for me personally, as an artist, in addition to being like a songwriter and a rapper and hip hop artist, I also wanted to get into curation. That's why, like, you could see like some art in the background. I decided to do not my art specifically, but I actually, over the pandemic, I really kind of like got really passionate about curating art from different artists who center their art around Black music and hip hop. And I started curating my own collection of art and putting on different exhibitions. And that was something when I initially started, a lot of people were thinking that, oh no, you should pretty much like stay, you know, and hone your craft as an artist first before you venture into that. But for me personally, it felt like the right thing to do. It felt like something that I was really passionate about and I was inclined to. And that's something that I would really tell other people who are artists, who are trying to figure out, you know, what to do and how to navigate their own craft. And if you're an entrepreneur as well, you don't have to take the specific route that seems most obvious or most, you know, followed. You can create your own path and do what works best for you based on whatever you're interested in, and seize the opportunities that are around you. And that's something that's really been monumental for me as an artist. So I would definitely encourage anyone who is an entrepreneur looking at ways to grow and, you know, succeed in whatever path they've chosen, is don't feel like you have to be like everyone else. Like, we're all individuals. We all have individual stories. And that's how our businesses will also, you know, be represented as well. They're all going to look different, and it's fine if it doesn't look like everyone else's.
Yeah, that's kind of the point, right? Not to be like everybody else, is to stand out. Brittany, that was great advice. Thank you. Meryl, do you have any advice for anybody who's looking to start out as a volunteer with ryze?
Sure. And Brittany, I love that you said that you don't have to be like everybody else. and you don't have to follow the traditional business entrepreneur path. That's something that I've been really working on as an entrepreneur. So thank you so much. So one piece of advice that I would give is that as a new ryze volunteer, you need to allow time for the relationship to evolve with your mentee. You know, they don't necessarily know you. They are signing an agreement for getting their funding to be working with a mentor, but they haven't come out and actually chosen you like some other mentoring relationships. So you really need to give time for the relationship and the trust to build and to evolve. I realized early on that I had to adjust my expectations and to meet my mentee at the point where she was at. So it wasn't about what I saw as a potential for her business or what I thought she should be doing, but really what was she ready for? What was she interested in doing with her business? And I'd also suggest that the mentor keep in touch with ryze themselves, with the person who got you into being a mentor, because they often have very good insight and really good advice. And I think that as an experienced entrepreneur, it can be tempting to share everything that you know about business. And really, that's overwhelming for your mentee. And what I've learned is that I need to share my experience in really small doses. And that the most important thing that really I'm doing as a mentor is holding space for the person I'm working with to discover things about herself and her business. So really, you're just there to hold space for that person. And when you hold space, it's around listening without judgment. It's around giving a person time to fully express. And I think that's really the most valuable thing, is to hold space and then to loudly cheer when they have a breakthrough or they have a big success in their business, or even a little success. So
I really love that, Meryl, about holding space. I think that's very true, especially at this time that we're all living in, is that life is going to look different for different people, and the lessons that they'll learn in working through that, if they're given the space to create, to make mistakes, to be encouraged, will be invaluable as they carry on in their career or in their business or in their personal life too. Thanks, Meryl. I have a final question for everybody. Brittany, I'm going to start with you. We've talked to everybody about their personal side. We've talked about their successes they're having now, but can you bring those together for us? How did ryze help you grow your business?
Definitely. So when I initially was basically joined the program, I was kind of like in my initial stages, like transitioning into looking at doing hip hop full time and kind of, taking on that as like, my main career path. But initially I was really hesitant. So because there's a lot of stigma associated with like Black art in general, especially when it comes to hip hop, there's like a lot of vilification of hip hop. So initially when I joined the program, I was like, okay, I really am passionate about music. I'm passionate about being a songwriter. I love writing music and I love rapping. I want to make this in a business, but I'm kind of hesitant because I know that a lot of people won't consider it a serious approach to like building a career and doing anything sustainable. So when I initially entered the program, at that time Kimber was the person doing the interviews, and I initially was like a little bit hesitant, and I spoke to Kimber at that time and said, I'm passionate about hip hop, but instead of focusing on hip hop, I want to create a collective that supports various, hip hop artists. And it was almost like I was indirectly trying to, psych myself out of pursuing, a career as like a hip hop artist. So when I spoke to Kimber, she had actually told me that, hey, like I've actually looked at like a lot of the stuff you've been doing relating to your music that you started putting out there, and you're doing a great job. And definitely I would recommend putting everything into that, because you've already put so much, instead of steering to a direction for you initially relating to how you want to like grow your business and develop a business plan and all of that. So that was like the first thing that was really helpful to me, where someone on the outside from ryze actually looked at me and validated my art and validated, my choice and what I was passionate about as an option to be an entrepreneur, pursuing that specific career path. So that was something that gave me the confidence, to be a hip hop artist in a space where a lot of people don't really consider like hip hop as, like a form of entrepreneurship. So that was really one piece that was really important to me. In addition to that, initially, I never really had too much insight into grant applications. So when I started with ryze, I initially was adding that to my list of goals on how to access grants, how to apply to grants in order to get funding to sustain myself as an artist. And that was really monumental for me, having a program that allowed me to develop a business plan, that allowed me to kind of have that space to conduct research into the different grants available. And that allowed me to access so many grants down the line. And then lastly, I would say ryze really gave me the opportunity to kind of look at research and look at, the marketing side of things, and look at how to understand your target audience and ways where you can actually, have a plan for, the finances down the line. And that's something that's been monumental for me. So I would say the social media side creeped in there as well, with ryze kind of giving me that option to actually develop market research, to look at different artists who are similar to myself and actually like develop, I would say, a model after those artists. And that was all through the program, giving me that opportunity, to the point where now I'm actually like active on TikTok, where I have like over 100,000, and 120,000 people on TikTok. And that's, I would say, was a primary result of me understanding the market side and doing that target audience research and looking at the competitors in my space in hip hop specifically. And without those tools, I wouldn't have been able to, continue and be consistent in that way.
I love what you said there about they validated you as an artist. They validated that what you wanted to achieve as an artist, and then applied all the business tools to it that you could tap into that were specific for you. So great. Karen, let's bring you in. How did ryze help you grow your business?
I think it was interesting when one of the lauriesses at the beginning of the event mentioned, I actually jotted it down, the mission being to create a community of care, empathy, and inclusion. And I think that really is personified my experience with ryze. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that my business advisor's name is Bridget Glasgow, and she's just been really critical in helping push me along, holding me accountable, but also providing the accommodations I needed to complete the tasks. And I think one of the great things about ryze is that they don't over accommodate. It's not like, and I mean that in a very complimentary way. Sometimes when you're working with people with disabilities, the tendency can be, oh, I'll just do it for you. Or, the expectation isn't that high because you're someone living with a disability. So ryze definitely forces you to rise to the standard of an entrepreneur and push through any of your discomfort. Just a quick story about my own experience doing like the financials of the business plan. Hate numbers, hate math, felt completely overwhelmed. Got really, Bridget, I'm sure, remembers me being very snarky with her when she kept kind of pushing for me to do that. But in the end has kind of forced me to realize that just because it makes me uncomfortable doesn't mean I don't have to address it, right? Like I can move through that discomfort, and I have to learn it if it's part of my business and entrepreneurial journey. So, I mean, I think those are some of the things that ryze has really done, as well as, the mentor program as well, making sure that they connect you with an appropriate mentor who supports your business plan, but also sort of some of the external needs like your mental health, self-care, mindfulness. All of those things have helped kind of been pushed to the forefront with the work that I did with my mentor.
That's great. Rebecca, what about you? How did ryze help you grow your business?
Well, ryze definitely helped grow my business in the beginnings of the whole starting the business, because I did get denied, and I found ryze on like just researching, trying to find grants or anything, and ryze came up. And I will say the biggest thing was, I'm going to follow in Karen's footsteps here, where it comes to math is not my thing. It makes me angry. And Dave was able to explain it in a way that I actually was like, this makes sense to me. Like for the first time in a long time, I'm not scared or nervous about doing spreadsheets or breaking down numbers, it can work. And yeah, it just, through that, I'm a little bit less scared of when it comes to number stuff, which I think has been a huge, growing point in my business. So yeah, ryze it's like the little quirks and stuff. Ryze definitely came in there, was like, hey, if you kind of adjust it like this, then this can be more successful. So that's kind of been huge. And it is huge. Both like Karen and Brittany and Rebecca, you've all said that it's having just the tools, having somebody say to you, well, you're never going to be an entrepreneur because you can't understand numbers. And if you can't understand the numbers, then how are you going to have your own business? Yeah. But actually saying to you, just understand it differently. And all your ideas are good and your passion's there. Let's just give you the tools in this area. I love that. And we can see the success in each of your businesses and how you're each flourishing. Congratulations to you as award winners. Congratulations, Meryl, to you as Volunteer of the Year. I want to thank you for sharing your personal stories and for making that choice to be really honest with us, Rebecca and Karen. I really appreciate that. And Meryl, you too, sharing your insights. Thank you so much. I'm going to check with Erin now really quickly. Do we have questions, Erin? I'm going to swipe my screen. Oh, I just need you. There we go.
I haven't received any questions at all, but okay. I did. Alex, I think, would like to say.
Oh, great.
Alex, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi there. How you doing?
Hey,
hi. Yeah. So my name is Alexander Knar, and I just realized my last name is wrong, but I just really wanted to thank you for including me in this and for selecting me to receive the Alan Slate grant. The more I learned about him and the more I learned about all of you, especially these amazing and resilient, hardworking women that just spoke before, I just wanted to sincerely reach out and say thank you for including me, and definitely big thank you to my ryze mentor, Beverly. She's been amazing, and I really could not have done it without her. Oh, I can't hear you.
I didn't unmute. Sorry, I didn't follow my own rule. Alex, I'm glad that you jumped on. In the last couple of minutes we have left, it's great to hear from you. Could you mention really quickly how Beverly, maybe one of the ways that Beverly was just influential for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, just basically, definitely, I think Rebecca was the one that touched on it. But like really believing that you can still do these things, even if you do have like mental health issues. And she has like, I mean, I never thought of myself as a business person. I was really more interested in the artistic side of things. But Beverly specifically, she really helped me like anchor down and be specific and really know like the sorts of people that I was reaching out to as well too. And yeah, sorry, I'm not as great with words as these other girls before.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very meaningful. Alex, great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're on mute, Anne-Marie.
Honestly, I made it through almost the entire thing without making that mistake. So if everybody else can now unmute and just give a round of applause so we can actually hear some applause for all of our award winners and for our businesses and for our mentors. Thank you so much, everybody. I want to thank you all for letting me be part of the celebration and hearing from the clients and also our audience. You guys all make up the community that helps ryze to flourish. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining on the call today. If you feel inspired to do more, you can visit our ryze website and see how you can get involved as a client, as a volunteer, or as a ryze donor. This is your organization. It would not happen without you. So thank you once again. Take care. Have a safe holiday season, and we'll see you back here next year. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
And check out the holiday market.
Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.